Hello students, welcome to the English class. We have started with a new poem from Flamingo, poem number 4, A Thing of Beauty by John Keats. In my last class, I have provided you with the PPT presentation where I have explained the theme, the summary, and some literary devices used in the poem. I have also given you the glossary of difficult words. Today in this class, I'm going to provide a video lecture providing the line-by-line explanation of the poem. Regarding the poet John Keats, in my PPT presentation, I have already provided you that he was a British romantic poet, that he was trained to be a doctor, but he left his doctor or medical career in midway and concentrated on poem. And Endymion is his first epic poem. Right, and a thing of beauty is actually taken from Endymion. Endymion is a long epic poem. Okay, and A Thing of Beauty, the excerpt that we have in our syllabus, is actually the first portion, or we can say the starting portion of this epic poem Endymion. Now, regarding Endymion, that is the background of the poem. Also, we have discussed in in my PPT presentation, isn't it? Where I have already told that Endymion is a mythological character, that the moon goddess Selene was encharmed by Endymion's beauty, and then whatever happened, that Selene went to Zeus, and Zeus granted the boon that Endymion will go on for an eternal sleep, isn't it? What exactly John Keats wanted to portray in this poem Endymion is about beauty. During the time of John Keats, that is, you can say at the Romantic era, John Keats belongs to the Romantic era. At the initial phase of the Romantic era, the poets and the writers, they had a kind of notion that beauty relates to something which belongs to the morality of character. Okay, that is, beauty is not only external, beauty is something which is internal. John Keats though believes that yes, beauty is something which is internal, but John Keats himself believes that if something which looks beautiful, that also should be appreciated. Right? So, in this poem, A Thing of Beauty, you will find that John Keats gives us the beauty which is not only internal but which is external also. And beauty is a source of joy. Okay, whatever material the beauty is of, it is a source of joy, and this joy is eternal. This joy never diminishes. Right? So let's start with the poem. The explanation, it will be clearer to you. Right? A thing of beauty is a joy forever. Its loveliness increases. It will never pass into nothingness. What the poet says? The poet speaks of the permanent nature of the beautiful thing, which gives us eternal joy. Okay, so a thing of beauty is a constant source of joy. The poet says that whatever beautiful, it is a perennial joy. Its beauty goes on increases. Okay, that is, the loveliness of the beauty will always increase. It will never fade away. Like suppose, if we take the case of rose, okay, a beautiful rose flower. Rose is a beautiful flower. We already know that rose is a beautiful flower, so rose itself is beauty. But when we go near the rose flower and we appreciate the beauty and say, oh, what a beautiful flower, then what will happen? The beauty that rose have, our appreciation adds more beauty to the rose. Okay, so the beauty of anything which is beautiful will only increase. It will never become ugly, or it will not, the beauty of that particular thing will never fade away. It will never move away. Okay, so it will never pass into nothingness. Here, nothingness means what? Nothingness means to fade away, okay, to move away. That will never happen. Right? Understood? Okay. But we'll keep a bower quiet for us and a sleep full of sweet dreams. But we'll keep a bower quiet for us. Means what? The everlasting beautiful sight of beautiful thing is stored in our memory. So they give us peace, okay? Just like a quiet, shady place. Bower, what is a bower? Bower means in my PPT presentation, I have provided you with the picture of a bower. Okay, you can see the pictures which I have given in the PPT presentation is very much linked to the words in the poem. Okay, so bower means what? It's a kind of shady place, like in the garden many a time you will find that along with the flowers and leaves and branches of the tree, they make a kind of arch like substance in the structure in this in the garden. Okay, and when you enter that arch, it is quite shady and it is very cool, so that is known as bower. Okay, so but we'll keep a bower quiet for us means when in the garden you enter a bower, an area of bower, what will happen? You will find peace, you will find quiet, and that is beautiful. Okay, just like a quiet shady place which gives us means which gives us the shade, which gives us the peace of mind. Okay, and a sleep full of sweet dreams. Sleep full of sweet dreams means what? When you are sleeping, okay, and in the sleep, if you are having a very beautiful dream, a dream which really makes you happy, okay, then we find that the sleep is nice, isn't it? After the hard day's labor, when the entire day you are working very hard and tired and exhausted, you go off to sleep in the night, and then you have a very peaceful sleep, a very sound sleep, and in the sleep you are again seeing a very beautiful dream. Then of course you can understand that you are having a very sound sleep, you are really enjoying the sleep, and that is important, that is beautiful, right? Okay, and health and quiet breathing, that is very much important. You have all the luxuries in your world, you have all the facilities and amenities in the world, but you are not healthy. You are unhealthy. You are unable to have a quiet breathing. Then what is the use of all the luxuries and amenities? You will never have that peace of mind because something or the other in your body is paining or aching or giving troubles to you. Right? So here the poet says that if we are healthy, right, if we are healthy and if we are having a nice leading a very healthy life and have a quiet breathing, then that is also beautiful. So beauty, as I have already told you, Keats does not believe that beauty is only internal, beauty is external. So whereas he has given said about the beauty of a quiet bower, he is also saying about the beauty of a good sleep and good health, right? Therefore, on every morrow are we reading a flowery band to bind us to the earth. And that is the reason, okay? That is the reason that when we wake up the next morning after a sound sleep, all the memories, all the beautiful memories of our sweet dreams help us to strengthen our bond with earth. Okay, so that is why the poet feels that every morning we prepare a wreath of flowers, okay, that binds us to earth more strongly. What do we have here? You see it very clearly. Morrow. What is the meaning of morrow? Morrow means morning. So every morning what we are doing, we are reading a flowery band. Okay, flowery band means what? It means a garland. Okay, flowery band means garland. Okay, so we are reading, what we are doing, we are stitching a garland of flower that bind us to the earth. What we are doing, this garland, this flowery band is binding us to the earth, is tying us to the earth. We are bound to the earth because the earth is so beautiful with beautiful things around us. We are unable to leave the earth. We have fallen in love with the earth and we don't want to leave the earth, because then only we can say that earth is beautiful. Got it? So what does the poet, again, if we go on saying that, what does the poet says? That every morning we weave. So reading means what? Reading means weaving. Okay, so we weave a flowery garland to bind us to the earth. Right? Okay. Spite of despondence, of the inhuman dearth, of noble natures of the gloomy days. Spite of despondence. Okay, here if you see spite, right? What is the meaning of this word spite? Spite can be used in two ways. Number one meaning is in spite of. Okay, number one meaning is in spite of. And number two meaning is spite means despondence. Okay, what is the meaning of spite? Despondence, or we can say despair. Okay, so spite can be used here in two ways. One is in spite of, another one is despair or despondence. Now what does this mean? Okay, here you see, read the line very clearly. Here the line says, spite of despondence, of the inhuman dearth, of noble natures of the gloomy days, of all the unhealthy and over darkened ways made for our searching. Okay, what does it mean? We are despondent. First, let's concentrate into the second meaning, that is despair and despondence. Okay, spite of despondence means when we are stuck with despair, when we are filled up with evil feeling, and when we think that everything around us is so gloomy, is so unhappy. Okay, so spite of despondence, of the inhuman dearth. Inhuman dearth. What is the meaning of dearth? Dearth means lacking. Dearth means lack. Okay, lack of what? Lack of noble creatures, means noble natures, means noble character, nobility. Okay, when all around us, what do we find? We find despair. Despondence means gloomy ways. This is number one. When we find inhuman dearth of noble natures, this is number two. That means lack of noble character, where we find around us only wicked people. Number three, of the gloomy days. Okay, when we find around us only gloomy days, that means we are very much sad, we are unhappy. Of all the unhealthy and over darkened ways, this is number four. Okay, that is, we are finding around us all the unhealthy, means our body is not keeping well, or our environment is unhealthy, our relationship with someone is unhealthy. Okay, over darkened ways means something which is very much sad, something where a pall of gloom or a pall of darkness had fallen upon us. When we find around all these things, means made for our searching. Okay, that means wherever we are looking, we find only this four kind of things. Okay, these four things we are seeing, that is completely darkened days we are experiencing. Okay, then the poet says, yes, in spite of all. Okay, here the poet says in spite of all. So spite of despondence, let's again this way I have told you the second meaning I have given. Now if I go to the first meaning, where I have said that spite means in spite of, then in that case, if I write the line in such a manner that in spite of despondence, of the human dearth of noble natures, of the gloomy days, of all the unhealthy and over darkened ways made for our searching. Yes, in spite of all, that means what we are doing, we are linking this particular line with this line. Okay, so in any of the ways, either of the ways, you can interpret this line, right? Okay. So in spite of all these, in spite of all this, in spite of all this gloomy thing, or in spite of all these pains and suffering, what do we find? Some shape of beauty. So what do we find? In spite of all this thing, we find some shapes of beauty. Okay, so some shape of beauty moves away the pall from our dark spirit. Okay, so some shape of beauty means some object of beauty moves away. Moves means here removes. Okay, removes away. What removes away? The pall. Pall means the burden. Okay, pall means the burden. Okay, so this shape of beauty or something of beauty removes the burden of what? Of our dark spirits. Okay, of our unhappy ways. So this beauty removes away the unhappy thing. Now what are this beautiful thing? What are this shape of beauty? Here we are getting the list of the beautiful thing. In my PPT presentation, if you have gone through very clearly, in the last slides, the last two slides, I have provided you with the list of painful objects and list of beautiful objects. Okay, in the list of painful objects, I have said here about the gloomy days, over darkened ways, unhealthy thing and everything. Okay, now here we are getting in our next from the next line itself, we are getting the list of beautiful things. What are the list of beautiful things? Like the sun, moon, old and young trees, then beautiful fountains and forests and waters and springs and musk roses, daffodils, all these things we will see in the beautiful thing. Okay, so if you go through the PPT presentation, you will find that many of the explanation has been done already over there. Okay, so what are the beautiful things, right? Now, we will be moving forward to the next part, that is the thing of beauty. I have explained till this much from our dark spirits, okay, and next we will be seeing the list of the beautiful things. Now, this list of the beautiful things, in my next video lecture, I will be discussing about the list of the beautiful things and also about how beauty has been defined by John Keats, right? So, students, I hope till how much I have explained, okay, you all have understood. This first page I have explained of the poem. In my next video lecture, I will explain the remaining part of the poem. I hope everything is very clear to you. If there is still any doubt, you can ask you can clarify your doubts in the class. Okay, so study well, students. Thank you all.